If you or your loved ones are allergic to almonds, but you really want to try macarons, this is the series for you. Follow along as I test out different substitutions for almond flour and let you know which one I think is the best. Today, we're going to be using rice flour instead of almond flour. You can find my macaron recipe pinned on my page. I'm going to be using the same technique and the same recipe. Since this is a test batch, I'm only going to be using 2 egg whites, and that weighed 66 grams. Here's a reminder of how I calculate my recipe. I'm not going to go into detail in this video. If you need a more in-depth tutorial, there's lots of videos on my page, and I have them organized in a playlist. Based on the research I did, you can do a 1-to-1 substitution of rice flour for almond flour. After whipping up the meringue to stiff peaks, it was time to add in the dry ingredients. As I was combining the dry ingredients into the meringue, I noticed that the texture was a little bit different than what I'm used to. I deflated the batter like I normally would, and I was careful to not overmix because I knew that the overall texture of the batter might be a little bit different than what I'm looking for when I'm using almond flour. I test my batter by seeing how it falls off my spatula. Here you can see it's not ready yet. Now we're getting closer, and this is how it looked when I was done. I had a really good feeling about these when I saw how nicely the batter was piping out. I tapped the bottom of the tray to break up air bubbles, and I let them rest for 15 to 20 minutes. I baked them in a 300-degree oven for 18 minutes. At the end of 18 minutes, I opened the door to check whether they were done. You can see that when I wiggle the top of the shell, it's moving quite a bit. That means they're not done yet. I left them in for a few minutes longer and continued to check them each minute to see if they were done. Here you can see the tops are more stable when I try to move them. I'm actually so impressed with the way that these look. Look at how tall and beautiful those feet are and how smooth the tops of the shells are. I'm going to do a couple more test batches with different almond flour substitutions. I'll fill them and then I'll taste test them and let you know which ones are the most similar to the original macarons. Even though I haven't put filling in these yet, I have very high hopes for them. I tasted one of the shells by itself and I thought the flavor was really good. The texture is a little bit more grainy, but overall, I think this is a great substitution for almond flour. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful.